chance to go to Texas again this past fall, meeting up with our friend Jeff. This was a planned hunt that Clem and I had planned on since he moved to Alaska here this summer. So we were both looking forward to seeing each other, hanging out, and doing a little hunting.
Hey, thanks for tuning into the Artemis channel. This is our first day hunting Texas. When I tell you it's first day, we had enough time to get our bags, stop and get something to eat, buy licenses, change, and get in the blind. So we got Clem down from Alaska, and we got Jeff from right here in Texas. Jeff was just telling us about where they come in from.
So they come in along that deer path there, and then come into the feeder down in front of us.
We got a feeder at about 30, 35 yards-ish. We did get busted by 6 that were bedded just behind the feeder when we come in, so we know this deer here. So we'll see you guys in a bit. I'm trying to identify birds on my app. They do it over here. Starts busting my balls.
He's not, he's collecting Pokemon cards.
Right, 5 months I haven't seen him. Already sick of his shit. All set. This yearling doe for like an hour, and a couple of older does came in and stopped their feet, moved off into the brush. The yearling's still just out of sight, but it's interesting how they came over here and made her leave. Squirrel or pair of squirrels that comes in from behind where this little doe is feet, and every time you see it move through the brush, we go. Now there's another one, and I said to Clem that it was enough for a snack if we took them both, and he said,
You want him? I got him.
I said no.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah, I know.
I'm your Huckleberry.
We did have this nice buck come in, and he got to about here, and he was hanging out. Pretty sure that one of these ladies was getting close to being ready to go and was in season, because he was definitely interested in them. You could see him kind of milling around in the brush before I took the video out and got video of him for you guys to see. There's that freaking squirrel again. I should have let Clem freaking waste him like he wanted to, and could have had some squirrel chili. Anyway, so this guy hung around here for a little bit, and Clem was hunting the first night. He was really looking for something special, and this is a nice young buck, and we know that there's another gentleman that hunts this area. He ended up taking him later on. While we were there, we were down and hunting hogs, but Clem wanted to wait for something really extraordinary to put on the wall, and I can't say as I blame him, so we hung out for a little bit more, but that was kind of the end of our night. and went back for night number 2.
Day 2. No gang signs, Clem. Day 2. Whitetail hunt. We're in that same blind that we were in. Clem's hunting a different property this evening, so hopefully he has some success. We know a nice whitetail was taken out of here this morning, so maybe we'll be in business. We're not watching the game. No.
Jeffrey and I didn't sit long here in this evening's sit. We watched the ladies come into the feeder and we watched this little squirrel do his thing. But it wasn't too long before we had some action happen and things didn't quite work out the way we had hoped.
Yeah. So, we're sitting here in the heat suffering. Yeah, I know Texas heat, right? Whatever. And, the feeder goes off, nothing happens, and then a couple of does, or maybe a doe and a spike or something, but then a nice 5-player, I think, 3x2. You guys be the judge of that. I'll show you. He comes in. Just as he comes into frame, my chair slips off the rock that it's on, and he bounces. So, maybe he'll come back. It's early, but who the hell knows?
Jeff and I discussed off camera that this is an area that he hunts pretty regularly, and if there was an opportunity to take this buck and remove him from the gene pool, if we were get lucky enough for him to come back, we were going to do that. And as it turns out, he did.
He's not going far.
One of the things that struck me as really kind of different from my limited experience is this young doe hung around immediately after the shot was taken. She's in there munching on corn like not a care in the world. We set to tracking him and we did not find a drop of blood, but as I stated earlier, he didn't go far.
Walk right by him.
There he is. Strong work.
No blood.
So we get him field dressed and I get him tagged and
I have to sign it.
messed around with a tag and needed a pen and I needed a knife to notch it. And then, like a couple of new guys, we had a hard time loading him in there, and I guess you'd say we ended up.
We do? We end up looking like a monkey f***ing a football out there.
He's in there.
That's a nice sized cull buck. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes when the horns are not perfect, the rest of the body's not perfect, and you end up with a small animal. But it's kind of cool when you can take a cull buck and get a large portion of meat out of it. So, right on.
I just want to eat. Those antlers will go on the wall somewhere. Figure out how we're going to do that, but
Yeah, they're definitely character antlers.
yep,
And ones that you'll be able to remember the story of where they came from.
yep.
So I had taken a nice cull buck out of that blind, and the last night of our hunt, we opted to hang on Jeff's property and get to see the black buck come in. And they're always a cool little animal to watch. There's little antelope that Jeff's got. They're pretty common there in hill country. We also got to see a little rut activity as this skinny doe come up. She's getting chased by this guy here. And he was there most of the night, kind of hung out and did his thing. And he remembered when we got up to the feeder that he was more interested in having a snack than he was taking care of business with her. She might not have been ready yet, but she was close because we certainly had this guy here. Clem got some footage of him through the scope, and he was a lot more cautious than another young buck. And I kind of thought Clem was going to take him, but in the end, I think Clem wanted something that was really spectacular, and this is a nice buck, but Clem gave him a pass, and good for him. So he and I sat there and we just watched this guy most of the night, and that other buck took off, and this guy hung around, and we kind of just enjoyed the evening watching him. We kind of reveled in the fact that we had a successful trip. We'd gone down and done some hog hunting and got a little bonus Rio Grande turkey and taken a cull buck off the other property. Jeff was happy to get him out of there, so we didn't need to be too greedy and just take a deer just to take one. Always nice to just sit and watch him, and this guy was certainly happy to oblige us sitting around watching him while Clem decided if he was going to take one. We appreciate you guys checking out the Hill Country episode here. I hope you'll subscribe and hit that subscribe button and give us some likes and some comments. As always, we appreciate you guys hanging out and checking us out. Make sure you check out some other videos as well. We've got a lot of good content here, and we'll see you guys next time.